Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33 teachings for your past, present, and future. Good morning, everybody. It is March 24th. I'm here in Auckland, New Zealand with another Monday mantra, a soul progression lesson for you. Now, if you're listening to this on the Beacon app, on Spotify, on YouTube, it really helps when you do all the things, liking, tagging, subscribing, letting people know that this platform exists. It enables me to be able to get more resources out to you, to be able to heal yourselves in your own time and really figure out this game of life. Now, if you haven't got your journals out yet, do, because you need to be making notes every time you listen to the Monday mantra if you really want to apply them to your week, because even I do the same. I set the mantra with my spirit guides and then I am looking to see how everything unfolds. Or if I've fallen off the wagon, how can I apply the Monday mantra back into my life and fulfill my life plan? Now, we always do a recap of the previous week because it's important to realize that all Monday mantras are not isolated lessons. It's like a chapter of a book. You can go back, you can go forward. And some of the things that I say right now may not resonate till a few weeks later, because as I am speaking, I can feel the energy going to you to be able to shake things up, to agitate things for the Monday mantras to make more sense. So let's do a recap of last week before we get into the new week. Your Monday mantra was, I'm actively transforming my family tree by changing the stories and relationships within it. I'm actively transforming my family tree by changing the stories and relationships with it. It was a really big week energetically. We had the Equinox. We had all this DNA upgrade going on. We had so many new things going on in our house, and a new member of the Soul 33 team who's also part of the family now. And someone had screenshot and sent me a post from another healer from America talking exactly about family tree healing. So it's definitely something that even if you can't see it right now or understand it, it is happening to all of us in some way. And those of us here who are more conscious about it will be able to see it playing out in their lives in somehow. Now, don't forget, it is still Mercury retrograde. Venus is also in retrograde too, but I talk about that in underlying ways because of the relationship dynamics, which is again coming back to the family tree thing. But with Mercury in retrograde this season, this time that it's in retrograde, I really feel, I know a lot of people can fear Mercury retrograde, like, oh gosh, what's going to happen? But I really feel this Mercury retrograde is here to really help us to be able to find our power, to be able to speak up and ask for what we want, and to realize what we are doing. Meaning, we talked about last week, are we in the giving position? Are we in the receiving position? Is it not balanced enough? And Mercury is really triggering certain conversations to be had, even if they're conversations with yourself, to understand what we are really doing, how much we actually do. So with Mercury retrograde in mind, the week that we've just had started the opportunity to rewrite our stories. And for me, it was by including a new Soul 33 member of our team to be able to assist me further so that I can do more for all of you. And it was rewriting a story of, I have to do everything by myself. Can't trust anybody else to do it, but I have to do it myself. And I know a lot of us have that story of can't trust anybody, it all falls on me. But do you know what I've realized over the last week? I have realized that I have been programmed to believe that I had to do everything myself. And as I've started to relinquish control, I can see actually again how much I'm doing, what my dynamics were prior to someone else coming in to help me, and what I have space now to actually create in my life because I'm opening up the door to receive help. So this is a message for all of you listening. We all need help in some way. It may not be in the way that I've chosen to receive help, but we are opening up ourselves with that conscious vulnerability. So with this energy, it's a great time to create a family tree, to engage in your inner child family tree work. You might be holding space for someone who is no longer in your family or is you wish they were different within your family. And I think we all have somebody or some people within the family like that. And bring in the people that you want, that you know you can trust, you that can help you so that you grow your family tree story in a different way. So this period of time that we're in right now is an excellent opportunity to clear out physical space. We've been decluttering everything around here and it feels really good. Restyling everything in who I am, redesigning, thinking about what else can be created when we remove things, what's left when we have space to be able to create from. And that includes decluttering the mind, sifting through your belongings and detoxifying our bodies. So how have you detoxified your body in the last week? I've included a new healthcare regime that I've been intuitively guided to, and so I'm going to be doing that for a while. And I realized I was doing that naturally without even remembering that I'd said that Spirit had reminded us about this. Focus on self-love and extend love into your relationships, and consider what traditions you want to create, recreate, or change. I'm so used to working on my own that now we're forming new traditions because I've got somebody else who's working with me to help support my bigger mission, which is to help all of you and to also be on my path. In a metaphorical sense, the alchemist refers to someone who transforms the ordinary into extraordinary, bringing about significant change in both personal and creative context. So the alchemist, taking what you've got now and turning it into something more valuable to you. So what have you got now, especially when it comes to relationships, especially when it comes to love, with anything, anyone, friendship, colleagues, like I mentioned to you last week? How can you turn what you've got into something more? Now, you are not broken. None of us are broken. Instead, we have the chance now to rebuild. This is a time of rebuilding, because remember, why I'm repeating these messages is because we're going to be making a transition to a new month very, very soon. And we want to be able to utilize this March power reclamation energy before we move into a different phase. And this is what life is about. It's about being able to understand, what is life showing me? What am I meant to be doing? You know, the reason why I created the app, it wasn't for it to be turning into a business. Obviously it is a business, but it was because I wished that when I was going through all of my things, that I had someone to be able to go, hang on, Gaia, this is what the energy is at the moment. This is why you might be feeling this way. And this is what you're being asked to look at. And the experiences that you are receiving are for a bigger purpose. And not because I'm broken and not because, you know, there was something wrong. It was a chance to rebuild what I've got because I didn't understand how all the components work together. And so this is what is happening. You've got all of these components and everything is starting to work together. And anything that is broken, like a broken relationship, a broken family dynamic, a broken whatever it is, it can be a catalyst for awakening. And this is what the growing pain type of energy is that's going to be coming in this week. And why I'm repeating this is that it's an opportunity to embrace a balanced flow of giving and receiving. Don't always be the giver and don't always be the taker. If you're someone in a leadership position, it is your opportunity to be able to take other people with you on the journey, but also be able to receive the help that you need. Because if you are someone who is in a leadership position, you're not leading just anybody. You've got people that are following you. And so there's a responsibility in that. So somebody needs to hear that message about responsibility versus not over giving and not over receiving, everything in balance. It's always two-way, and that can happen in relationships where sometimes one person feels like they're giving and giving and giving, and someone once in a while wants to be able to lie back and go, hang on, can you please do that or take care of that, because you are receiving support. So just remember, we are being enabling ourselves with this Mercury retrograde going on at the moment and Venus retrograde to ask for these things and being clear about it. We were focusing on the equinox. So during my meditation, Goddess Kali came to me. Now, you don't have to believe in deities or goddesses or anything. But for me, what it represents is what this means for us. And Goddess Kali, she is the fierce divine mother. She is someone that is like the feminine creation and destruction. And I was thinking, this is very interesting that she's here at this time during the equinox, because the equinox is about harvest and fertility and balance and all of those things naturally within the divine feminine. And while she's traditionally not somebody who is connected to the equinox, she was this equinox. And I know some of you have been feeling her, dreaming about her. And so when she came to me and she said, I'm here for the equinox energy, and I'm here to break the cycles for the DNA cycles, which we're carrying traumas, and be able to start recalibrating us to bring in our soul tribe, people who have got our backs, people who see the light in you, people who understand the truth of what you are trying to say and not just seeing through the eyes of their pain all the time. And I feel like when I put up the meditation of the family DNA restoration, bringing in Kali, that recalibration with her is really, really strong at the moment. And with the equinox, it's about balance. And so balance and harmony, you might be, remember, getting the opposite of the Monday mantras, because if you're not in alignment, and we all fall off the alignment path sometimes, you'll be getting the extreme versions of the Monday mantra. So you might be having all family craziness right now, or you might be going, actually, I'm looking for family. I want to build a family. I want to bring in more friends, bring in colleagues that are aligned with my mission, whatever it is. But balance and harmony to bring an equilibrium in life, and balancing work and rest, and balancing the masculine and feminine, and all of that is going on our inner world and bringing it in the outer world, and vice versa, because often we can think things but we might not be feeling them, but we're manifesting the things that we think because they're not in alignment with our heart. And a time of harvesting and gratitude. Lots of people have been giving me fruit off their trees, and it's such an amazing gift. Like, I went for my exercise class and my instructor said, go and get some of the guavas off the tree. It's harvest and gratitude. I was so grateful for these little red, delicious fruits that he gave me, and they were just so, with little seeds inside. And I was thinking, that's so interesting, because for me it's representing this time of harvest, gratitude and fertility. So giving back with Earth's abundance, because Earth is giving us these fruits in the form of actual fruits, but there's this ripening going on for all of us at the moment. Even if you're not in that season with your weather patterns, it is a ripening energy. Spiritual awakening, intention setting. It's a time to be able to connect with nature. And so it's very important over this period, especially going to the end of March, that we're evaluating, are we in the roles that we want to be? Are we that frog in the boiling pot that has forgotten that it's actually under so much pressure and stress, and we're really not wanting to be there and we need some help? How are you changing your dynamics within your relationships so it's in a more balanced way? I'm really interested to hear that, so let us know below. As we moved through the week, I pulled the soul progression card of the triumph card number 11, 1-1, which is also going to come in. Why I'm telling you this, it's coming in this week's energy as well. Lord Ganesha came, so obviously in the depiction of the card, and I asked him, why are you here? What is it that we all need to know this week? And I found it really fascinating that he started telling me about the significance of his birth. Because as the remover of obstacles and the god of new beginnings, Ganesha, the elephant god, symbolizes fresh starts and transformative experiences for us. And I have had a big transformation from feeling a bit anxious at the beginning of the week to starting to feel like, actually, the universe has my back. And we had other amazing synchronicities happen last week also, which I will tell you in due course. So Ganesha symbolizes fresh starts and transformative experiences. Take in that as I'm speaking to you. We all want transformative experiences. And Ganesha's mother, goddess Parvati, she really wanted a child. And this is, again, the dynamic around family. Whether you've got what you wanted, whether you've not got what you wanted. Now you've got what you wanted, what do you want to do with that? Because fertility extends far beyond being able to bear or procreate children. And she wanted a child so much to fulfill her desire, she actually lovingly created a perfect boy out of sandalwood. And there Ganesha was born. Sandalwood is a very auspicious auspicious wood. And in our lives, we are still activating and shaping our relationships, because some of our relationships are activating, and while we are actively shaping the relationships, we're redefining our concept of family, blood family, friends, the family that we choose. And Ganesha's story includes a pivotal moment where he defended his mother. And so she made this beautiful child. And what I love about this mythology is that she didn't give birth to this child. She created him. She made him. She made him into a reality. And this is what's happening for us. We're making things into a reality. And so when Lord Shiva came to visit her, there was a confrontation because Ganesha was trying to protect his mother, and off with his head, Lord Shiva came, who's the masculine destroyer and creator, off with Ganesha's head and replaced Ganesha's head with an elephant, bringing Ganesha back to life, because Parvati was so distraught that, her beloved son that she made was beheaded. So Ganesha came in for us last week, giving this to you now, embodies the qualities of wisdom, embodies intellect, and the remarkable ability to remove these obstacles for these transformative changes. And Lord Shiva awarded him after all of this tragic trauma, because I always want to remember within myself and share it with you, whenever there is a big storm in our lives, there's a breakthrough, there always is. And, I actually don't mind being uncomfortable, because I know that something more is coming from the discomfort. And someone needs to hear that something more is coming from your discomfort. And so Shiva ended up putting Lord Ganesha, the elephant god, that was a boy that was created with sandalwood and then beheaded. And then it's all the symbolism behind what actually happened is what the lessons are behind why I'm telling you this. And so he became a deity being worshipped before any undertaking. Like when I was in the Jaipur temple, the Ganesha temple, everyone's coming there with their new cars and their new babies and their new husbands and their new wives and whatever, because they're getting the blessing of the boy that was beheaded, but then given the wisdom of the elephant to be able to help all of us. And so Ganesha symbolizes the birth story. This is our birth story now. We're birthing our creation from either our mind or our heart. Hopefully they're both in alignment, because what we want to manifest in our physical life is what we want to create. So the card came up to symbolize the imperfections within families. No family is perfect. And to the importance of duty. So because Ganesha was standing guard, because when you know your duty, you can actually realize whether you're giving too much, receiving too much, whether you're being recognized for what you are doing, whether you're needing recognition in some form, and the diverse forms of life and relationships that happen for all of us. Ganesha's elephant head represents wisdom and understanding, while his round body signifies the completeness of the universe and the necessity of balance in our lives. 1, 1, 2 equals balance. And that triumph card is the 11 card, which is the number 2, because it adds up to 2. So the Ganesha triumph card came up as a reminder that a form of rebirth is occurring for us with the equinox, such an auspicious time in ancient cultures. It may require us to adjust the dynamics in our relationships as we evolve into different versions of ourselves. And your triumph lies in recognizing that this new version of you is destined to be stronger. As we move through the week, we put up a video about how Goddess Kali came during this powerful time, because her energy embodies the qualities of equinox, of being able to exist during the night and day. And I know I'm a morning person, but everything night and day, everything working together, symbolizing destruction and creation together. And with the sun crossing the equator, there's this portal that's been opening up, and it's like a gateway that's taking us through into this inward journey, but also reconnecting us with what we're really wanting in our relationships and being our true selves, which is very important in terms of what we are creating in this life, in this moment. And the extended meaning of the Monday mantra, it was, our family tree extends beyond blood relations. It encompasses all creations, all living things, like how the sandalwood was created into a living being, and the living being was then merged with the wisdom of an elephant. Mythology, which with beautiful symbolism to actually understand what this lesson is about, of that we're connected to all of life's creations, and that is our family tree also. And when we lean on each other, offer support, and engage without the burden of expectations, we can transform our relationships. This is very important for some of us to hear, of the expectations, because some of us are held liable for other people's actions and reactions. We're moving away from that now. We're replacing the cycles of pain with stories of wisdom and empowerment. We have the power to shape our own narrative now, and it's not in the hands of anybody else. There has been so much to declutter this week, not just physically, even though that is happening physically around my house, and it's also inside of me, creating space. But in terms of old stories we've told ourselves, we are drawing power from our pain, and perhaps even reaching a point of gratitude for what has triggered us. Now, this is not about bypassing our pain, but I remember what I was thinking about before coming on to record this is that, I don't know, some of you would have heard of Mo Gawadat. And Mo is a very well-known businessman. He's very, very successful, and he lost a child. The child was about, I think, 19, around that age, 19, I think 19 or 21, one of those ages. And I remember him saying on a podcast, someone asked him whether he would, if he could bring his son back, would he? And he says no, he wouldn't, because what has happened from that death, it was obviously meant to happen in the way that that child's soul needed to go, or young man's soul needed to go. But he said, I wouldn't bring him back, because it triggered everything else to grow and change and evolve in my life. And I was thinking, the worst kind of pain I would imagine would be to lose a child like that. And if he can be so evolved and wise with the elephant head to see how that pain, every time it's triggered, it's actually power to write a new story to help somebody else. It makes me quite emotional saying that. So there's a message in there for all of us. Remember, I'm always here for you, but I'm only one person. I know you all know that. I'm doing my very best. This is why we've got some help now with Soul 33 to help me in the back end. Doing my very, very best to be here in all ways. And I know that a lot of you are waiting for sessions, and they will come at the right time. And it's always the right time when someone comes to see me. But this is why I've got so many tools on the app, and we are refurbing the app, and we've been having meetings, and thank you for that patience also. And because we don't charge very much for the app, it takes a bit longer to upgrade, because that subscription money goes into doing the app, and apps are very, very expensive to keep alive and updated with all the technology changes that are going on with phones. But I'm so grateful to have you there. I love reading all that you share, and I'd love to hear in the group chat or on the comments below how your dynamics and stories are changing, because your comments help other people also. Now, there are mini readings and personalized meditations, and to go on any wait list, please email Kieran at soul33@gmail.com. And if you're needing a link to renew your app or become an app member, please email Kieran for that too. We keep the link external so that we can keep our subscriptions as low as possible, so that it is affordable for everybody. Okay, are you ready for this week? So pens out, paper out, really tuning into the alignment of this week. I am actively enhancing my dreams with heightened awareness and intention. So I am actively enhancing my dreams with heightened awareness and intention. I have been talking about the solar eclipse since the first week of the Monday mantras for March. And remember, power reclamation, whatever that means to you, getting your power back in some way. So this week's energy activation is again another big one, because it's like I've had this anticipation about this week, and it's also the week which is the last week of March, and then we go into April, which will be a whole new vibe. But we are tapping into immense power this week as we activate the potential that has been bestowed upon us this month. And because we're just through this equinox portal, this gateway, it's a time to step up and embrace our transformation, but we must also stay grounded during this profound upgrade. This is why connecting with nature, looking after our bodies, taking a moment to connect with nature and allowing your mind to wander. Try and go for some walks if you can. Try and sit by bodies of water, sit in your garden, sit on your balcony, whatever you've got available to you. Just let your mind wander a bit and see where it goes, and see a line of connection, connecting it with your heart. Daydream about your desires is what Spirit wants us to do, to have the space to be able to do that. And when we get help in whatever way we need it, whether it's practical help or emotional help or mental help, it creates a space because we're getting things out. And in that space, your intuition will start to shine like the sun, the solar energy that's coming in this week, giving us revealing visions that can ignite our courage and creativity. So this is why those 2 recent meditations have been put on the app, for you to be able to heighten the courage and creativity by healing your family tree and allowing yourself to embrace gratitude for who you are. I thank you for who you are. I honor who you are. We talked about that a bit a couple of weeks ago. But this week, that gratitude energy is so important, and it comes in for that the year of the snake, because we're in the Chinese zodiac for the year of the snake, and that snake rebirth, that renewal, being able to adapt, being able to move. That's this week, a kind of a slithery week. And so you might experience the opposite of this. You might see the negative aspects, the shadows, which we'll talk about in a minute. Embrace gratitude for who you are and the gifts that you hold, because we all have gifts. Spirit encourage us this week to remain authentic. Channel that childlike spirit without inhibitions. And that comes with a warning, because it's Mercury retrograde at the moment. You want to be able to express yourself, not to hurt, but to be empowered. Just like how you would like to think that a child is being empowered to make their own decisions and choose for themselves. As we close our old chapters and open new ones, because we're rewriting stories, and you try and do that consciously. Rewrite your stories consciously. Remember to infuse your heart with warmth. Your activation should come from a place of freedom. So your activations mean that every action that you take is activating something, a reaction, a response, whatever it is. And it should come from a place of freedom, not that I'm trapped, I'm stuck, but a freeing ability to decide for yourself, and not from a place of the trauma and the pain. Ask yourself, will you choose liberation? Will you yourself, or allow yourself to remain closed off? So I'm going to say that again. Ask yourself, will you choose liberation or allow yourself to remain closed off? I didn't even realize I was closed off to receiving help, until the help came in and was happy to take things off my load. Patience is key again. We are all navigating growing pains this month, and the growing pains are, you think about when you're growing up and your bones are hurting and your muscles are hurting. It's like we need to be patient to grow up from a child to an adult, if we all have the luxury of doing that, of being able to grow with the life cycles. And if we do have that ability, we shouldn't take it for granted, but we don't expect to grow up, do we? It just kind of happens. And that's what's kind of happening right now through patience, is that suddenly something matures and ripens, like the fruit, the guavas that I was given. And a reminder, because we're still in Mercury retrograde, which means it's a time for evaluation and conscious communication. Growth in our physical world stems from spiritual alignment. Don't limit yourself. Progress is happening even if you can't see it. I'm looking forward to this new moon solar eclipse on the 29th, around that. It's the 29th, but depending on where you are in the world, it's still that coming through. And this new moon in Aries is a powerful time for initiation, courage, and assertiveness. Like, I know Aries in my life, and they're very assertive. And so here are some themes. new beginnings. The new moon signifies a fresh start, this transformation coming in. It's a new beginning. It's potentially a celebration. It's change, an ideal time for, like the Monday mantra suggests, actively enhancing your dreams. So it's not going to be, during Mercury retrograde, we're not doing anything new as such, but we are doing something new towards what we know we want. And if you don't know what you want, this is that time to daydream and think about, okay, well, what is my dream? What is it? If you're wanting to share some of your dreams, please let us know, like, what are you wanting? And so you want to take that active step towards something that you've already been thinking about, towards your goals. And this is when the courage and assertiveness comes in, because Aries is ruled by Mars, which is the planet of war. And it's like this warrior energy to come in, to be proactive and take risks, and being individual. Embracing your individuality and your authenticity and being independent, to break free from the constraints of those old dynamics, the DNA that's being restored at the moment with our family tree, or balanced, whatever it is that you're needing. And if you're consciously aware of it, it is happening. Breaking free from societal expectations, focusing on what makes you unique, and embrace that authenticity. Having passion and drive, expect a surge of energy to pursue what excites you. What is that surge of energy that excites you? Channel this enthusiasm into concrete actions this week. Impulsiveness. Okay, so this is coming into the more shadowy thing. While taking action is encouraged, balance it this week with thoughtfulness to ensure your choices align with your long-term goals. Not being impulsive, being considered and aware. Emphasizing leadership. I brought that up. So some of us, or some of you, might be moving into leadership roles. And if you are, let us know, whatever that means to you. And this energy with the new moon supports us stepping up into leadership roles, taking charge of direction without controlling, but being patient as growing pains teach us what we need to know for the next steps. Resettling relationships. If your challenges have arisen in your relationships, the new moon and Venus in retrograde gives us an opportunity to reset those dynamics. Self-care and personal growth, focusing on nurturing your physical and emotional, spiritual well-being. What are you going to do towards that this week? I've got a couple of hikes and things that I'm going to be going on. Transformation and change. The eclipse signifies transformation and can prompt you to release old patterns. So while it's a new moon, because of the shadow aspects of the solar eclipse, it's going to help us release old patterns or beliefs, paving the way for new growth. Illumination of shadows. Because the obscured sun during a solar eclipse invites introspections, allowing us to confront hidden fears and emotional baggage. That will be very interesting for us to be aware of this week. The integration of energy, the alignment of the sun and moon, symbolizing the harmony that we've just had through the Equinox portal, again balancing feminine and masculine energies, which is also about giving, receiving, leadership, being able to create, encouraging balance within our relationships. Collective energy and evolution. Eclipses often influence the collective consciousness. So we might be seeing some of the more shadow sides of human nature this week, but we are here of the light. We're changing the vibration of everyone that we are around. Enhanced intuition. We are all opening up even more. This is why goddesses and deities and energies are all coming through for all of us in some way. Signs are being shown. And also, this is a powerful time to intend. So take this change, align with your true self, trust the change, and welcome these new beginnings. Your action this week is identify your dream. So remind yourself, you might actually, what they're showing me now is doing a brainstorm. So do a brainstorm this week, pinpoint what your dreams are. And as I'm doing that, I'm sorry, but I'm actually feeling like I need to burp. And so when that's happening, something is shifting within all of us, and it's about our dreams. So pinpoint what needs an upgrade to bring them into your life, these dreams into your life, and what steps can you take this week towards your aspirations. Do you know what's been coming up and what I want to talk to you about? And it's coming up in my head, so I'm going to look for it as I talk about it. I keep seeing stingrays, and I know that sounds weird. It's coming to me in various ways. And so the stingray is, as we know it in the spiritual context, is about protection, adaptability, and stealth. The ability to navigate difficult situations with grace and power. That just came through right now to let you know, and that's the growing pains. Okay, so we want to take a moment now. So please close your eyes if you are not driving. This week, you are going to remember your dreams. You're going to be aware and you're going to intend your new beginnings. The number 11 and the number 19 are coming through strongly because 1 plus 9 equals 10, which then, if you take the 0 off, is 1. So back to the beginning again for our power reclamation. And knowing that to be grateful for who you are and what you have is actually going to bring in your dream. This is your time to connect with people, to connect with your tribe, with the family tree that you are wanting to grow, and knowing that growing pains are all part of what is teaching you and me patience to be able to fully immerse and receive the system upgrade that we are needing with the DNA, with the light codes, with the equinox, with the solar eclipse and the new moon, everything that's happening at the moment, which is so much, is to come back to ourselves, to receive more of who we are by releasing the traumas, by being aware of our shadow sides and daydreaming your desires into a reality. I'm always here for you. If you need any help to go on a wait list, thank you for your patience with email response times. We do get a lot of emails, but everything in patience and in due course. Your Monday mantra is, I am actively enhancing my dreams with heightened awareness and intention. I am actively enhancing my dreams with heightened awareness and intention. That is your Monday mantra for this week. And your homework is up on the app. And if you need anything, soul33@gmail.com. Until next week.